Nathan was a simple man. He did not have much money. He did not have a big house or a nice car. He lived in a small apartment and worked as a taxi driver. But Nathan did not own a taxi. He worked for a big taxi company in the city. Every day, he drove a different taxi and some cars were very dirty. Still, Nathan never complained. He always arrived at work early. His shift started at 6 o'clock in the morning, but Nathan came at 5. He used the extra time to clean the taxi. The company had a rule. Drivers must clean their cars after work. But many drivers did not care. Nathan was different. He wanted his passengers to feel comfortable. He believed a clean taxi made people feel safe and respected. Nathan was also a handsome man. He had a kind face and gentle eyes. Passengers often smiled at him. Some women liked him a lot. They asked him, "What time do you finish work?" Or, "Would you like to come to a party?" But Nathan always said no. He was polite, but quiet. No one knew why he never accepted these invitations. The reason was a secret. Nathan was in love, but not with a real woman. He was in love with a painting. Yes, a painting. The painting showed a woman named Grace Vincent Stevens. Her portrait was in a city art gallery. Nathan saw it one day when he passed by the gallery. He went inside and looked around. When he saw her picture, he stopped. He could not move. The woman in the painting wore a white satin dress. She had beautiful earrings with green and white stones. Her face was soft, young, and calm. Her eyes were full of stories. Nathan felt something strong inside his heart. He felt like she was looking at him. Not at the wall, not at other people, just him. Since that day, Nathan visited the gallery every afternoon after work. His job ended at 3 o'clock. Then he walked to the gallery. He stood in front of the painting and looked at Grace. Sometimes he stayed for 10 minutes. Sometimes he stayed for an hour. He never talked to anyone there. He just looked and felt quiet. He bought a catalog from the gallery shop. The catalog had a small photo of Grace's painting. Nathan kept it next to his bed. Every night before sleeping, he looked at the photo. It made him feel calm. It helped him dream. Sometimes, Nathan dreamed that Grace was alive. In his dreams, they walked together in the park. She laughed. She held his hand. She told him stories. In his dreams, Nathan felt happy. But when he woke up, he remembered the truth. Grace died in 1927. The painting was almost 100 years old. Still, Nathan's love did not end. He knew it was strange. He never told anyone. He did not want people to laugh at him. But to him, Grace was special. She was more than just paint on a canvas. She was someone he trusted. Someone who listened, even without speaking. At home, Nathan had a small notebook. Inside, he drew pictures of Grace. He used a pencil. His drawings were not perfect, but in his drawings, Grace always smiled. In the real painting, she looked serious. But Nathan imagined her smiling just for him. He never showed his notebook to anyone. It was his private world, his own quiet dream. Nathan's days were simple. He woke up early, cleaned his taxi, worked hard, and then visited Grace. He did not have many friends. He did not go to parties, but he was not unhappy. He had something that many people lost, a sense of wonder, a sense of beauty, a feeling that even in a busy, noisy world, something soft and quiet could still be important. One rainy afternoon, as Nathan stood in the gallery, he heard a little boy ask his mother, "Who is that lady?" The mother answered, "Her name was Grace Vincent Stevens. She came from a rich family. She died a long time ago." Nathan smiled quietly. In his heart, she was still alive. He looked at her eyes. He whispered, "You are still beautiful." And he believed it. Nathan did not know that very soon everything would change. A small thing, something forgotten in the back seat of a taxi, was about to begin a journey. A journey that would bring the past and the present together. A journey that would open his heart in a new way. But for now, Nathan simply walked home, thinking of Grace, and wondering what tomorrow might bring. It was Tuesday morning. Nathan arrived at the taxi company at 5 o'clock like always. He liked to come early and clean the taxi before starting work. The man in the office gave him the keys and said, "Today, you will drive car number 505. But I'm sorry, Eddie used it last night. It's very dirty." Nathan smiled. "That's okay," he said. "I have time to clean it." Nathan walked to the car. The outside was covered with dust and mud. He washed it carefully. Then he opened the doors and started to clean the inside. There were empty soda cans on the floor and a pizza box near the driver's seat. It was messy. Nathan didn't like dirty cars, so he worked quietly and cleaned everything. As he cleaned the back seat, he saw something small and shiny on the floor. He picked it up. It was an earring. The earring had green stones that looked like emeralds and white stones that looked like diamonds. It looked beautiful and expensive. Nathan looked at the earring again and again. It felt familiar, but he didn't know why. "Where have I seen this before?" he whispered. He put the earring in his pocket and finished his workday. After returning the taxi to the company, he took the bus home. He made a sandwich, drank some coffee, and sat at the table in his small kitchen. He took the earring from his pocket and placed it on the table. Nathan picked it up and looked at it under the light. The green and white stones sparkled. Then, suddenly he remembered. He stood up quickly and ran to his bedroom. He opened the drawer beside his bed and took out the small art gallery catalog. He turned to the page with Grace's painting. He looked carefully at her ears. Then he looked at the earring in his hand. His eyes grew wide. "It's the same," he whispered. The earring in his hand looked exactly like the one in the painting. It had the same design, the same color, the same shape. Nathan sat down and felt his heart beat faster. Could it really be the same? Was this just a copy? Or was it something more? He didn't know what to think. He knew the company rule. If a driver found something in a taxi, he had to give it to the office. But Nathan did not want to give it away. Not yet. He wanted to know more. "I need to find the person who lost this," he thought. "Maybe I can give it back myself." That night, Nathan returned to the taxi office. He waited until midnight when Eddie finished work. Eddie looked tired and wanted to go home. Nathan stopped him and asked, "Eddie, last night, did you drive a woman in taxi number 505? Eddie yawned. "I had many passengers," he said. "Some were women. Do you remember any of them?" Nathan asked. Eddie rubbed his eyes. "Let me think. I picked up 2 women and took them to a restaurant. I also picked up a man and a woman from the metro station. They went to an apartment building near the university." "Anyone else?" "Yes," Eddie said slowly. "There was one more. A young woman. She seemed sad. I took her to a hotel. That was my last job." "Do you remember which hotel?" Nathan asked. "No," Eddie said. "I'm too tired. I want to go home." Eddie walked away, and Nathan stood alone in the garage. But then he remembered something. The company kept records of all taxi jobs. Every time a driver picked up a passenger, the job was recorded in the office computer. Nathan walked quickly into the office. The night manager, Sonia, was yelling at 2 drivers. Their cars had almost crashed in the garage. While Sonia was busy, Nathan opened the computer. He searched for Eddie's last trip. He found it. Eddie had taken a woman to a hotel on Rue Truffe. The hotel's name was Hotel Luna. Nathan wrote it down. It was too late to go there now. But tomorrow was Wednesday, and he did not work on Wednesdays. He would go in the morning. The next day, Nathan stood outside Hotel Luna. It was small and simple, not a hotel for rich people. Nathan thought, maybe the earring is not real. Maybe it is just glass and plastic. But still, he waited. He watched people go in and out. A man with a guitar, a woman with 2 kids, a couple with backpacks. Nathan watched for hours, but he didn't see anyone who looked like they lost an earring. He sat on a bench. He felt tired and disappointed. "I'm foolish," he thought. This earring is just an old piece of jewelry. I should have given it to the office. But then, he looked across the street. He saw the art gallery. I'll go see Grace, he said. She always helps me think. He walked to the gallery and went to the room with Grace's painting. But someone was already there, a young woman. She was standing in front of the painting. She was crying. And she was talking to it. Nathan stopped near the painting. A young woman stood in front of it. She had long hair and a soft face. Her shoulders were shaking. She was crying. Nathan didn't want to disturb her, so he stayed quiet and listened. Then, to his surprise, he heard her speak to the painting. "Oh, great-grandmother," she said in a low voice. "My name is Barbara. I came here from a small town near Tupa. I worked in a shop, but I didn't like my life there. I wanted to live in the city. My father said no, but my grandmother helped me. She told him to let me go." Barbara took a deep breath. Her voice was full of emotion. "She told me about you," she continued. "She said your picture was here in this gallery. She also gave me these earrings. She said they belonged to our family long ago when we were rich. She said the earrings would bring me luck." Nathan's heart beat faster. He looked at her ears. She was only wearing one earring. The other was missing. "Last week, I got a new job in an office," Barbara said. "I was happy. I thought my life would change. Then a man from the office asked me to go out with him. I said yes. I wanted to look nice, so I wore the earrings." She paused and wiped her eyes. "But he was not a good man," she whispered. "He didn't take me to dinner. He took me to a dark park. I was scared, so I ran away. I found a taxi and went back to my hotel." Her voice shook. "When I looked in the mirror, I saw I lost one earring. I don't know where it fell. I can't go back to that job. I'm too ashamed. I can't go home. I don't know what to do. I'm sorry, great-grandmother." Nathan listened to everything. He was sure now, the earring he found belonged to Barbara, but what should he do? He looked at the painting. Grace's eyes were not looking at Barbara now. They were looking at him. Nathan took a deep breath. He felt like Grace was telling him something. Suddenly he spoke. "Grace Vincent, tell me, what should I do?" Barbara turned quickly. She was surprised. "Who are you?" she asked. "My name is Nathan," he said. "I drive a taxi. I think I found something that belongs to you." He reached into his pocket and took out the earring. He held it out to her. "Is this yours?" Barbara's eyes grew wide. She took the earring slowly and looked at it. Then she smiled. "Yes," she said. "This is it. This is my earring. I don't believe it. How did you find me?" Nathan smiled back. "I remembered this earring because I saw it before, in this painting. I thought maybe the person who lost it would come here. So I waited." Barbara looked at him for a long time. Her eyes were still wet, but now they were full of light. "This is a miracle," she said. "Thank you." Nathan didn't say much more. He felt shy. He didn't want to sound strange. He didn't want to tell her about the dreams or the drawings. Instead, he asked softly, "Would you like to go have a coffee with me?" Barbara looked at him and nodded. "Yes, I would like that," she said. "But first, I need to do something." She turned back to the painting. "Thank you, great-grandmother," she whispered. "You helped me. I will come visit you again." Nathan and Barbara walked toward the door together. Nathan looked at the painting one more time. Barbara didn't see, but he raised his hand and waved. In that quiet moment, he felt something beautiful, as if Grace Vincent Stevens smiled back and said goodbye. As they left the gallery, the sky was soft and bright. It felt like a new day had begun. Nathan was no longer alone, and neither was Barbara. They had both been lost, but now, because of a painting, they had found something, a connection, a kindness, and maybe the beginning of love. Nathan's story began with silence, loneliness, and a simple heart. He was a taxi driver with little money, no family close by, and no love in his life, except for a painting. Every day, after work, he visited the city art gallery. He stood quietly in front of the portrait of Grace Vincent Stevens. She was a woman from the past, full of beauty and mystery. Nathan believed her eyes looked straight at him, and that gave him peace. One day, a forgotten earring in the back of a taxi changed everything. That small object, found by accident, brought new purpose into Nathan's life. He followed his heart, searched for clues, asked questions, and waited patiently. He did not know what he would find, but he followed a feeling, the same feeling that brought him to the painting every day. In the end, he met Barbara, a young woman who was lost, afraid, and alone. She was the great-granddaughter of Grace Vincent Stevens. Nathan gave her back her earring, but he also gave her something more: hope, kindness, and a safe place to begin again. This story teaches us something important. Even when life feels quiet, small, or lonely, something magical can happen. One act of kindness, one decision to follow your heart, can open a door to connection. Nathan didn't have much, but he had honesty, care, and a deep love for beauty. That was enough to change his life, and Barbara's. We can all learn from Nathan. Sometimes we feel lost. Sometimes we think our dreams are silly or impossible. But if we keep kindness in our heart, and if we take small, good actions, something wonderful may happen. You have just finished listening to and reading a full English story. That means you have improved your English listening and reading skills. Be proud of yourself. Step by step, you are getting better. Now, here's a small question for you. What was the name of the woman in the painting that Nathan loved? A. Barbara Stevens. B. Grace Vincent Stevens. Comment your answer below, A or B. Let's see how many of you remember it right. And if you enjoyed this story, please subscribe to our channel so we can continue making more content to help you learn English in a fun and easy way. We also kindly invite you to donate if you can, even a small amount. In the beginning, it's not easy for us to create quality content like this. We do it for free to help you, but your support will give us the strength and means to keep going. Thank you for learning with us. See you in the next story.